You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode. In times of uncertainty, being prepared is crucial. Today we're discussing strategies for businesses on how to succeed during uncertain times. And I would tell you, these are pretty uncertain times right now. I don't know if you read the paper. Is there a paper still? But if you go online, you watch news on television, whatever the case might be, these are times that are uncertain. So joining us now is award-winning business expert, keynote speaker, and best-selling author, Meridith Elliott Powell, who's actually written a post on this very topic. So Meridith, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jim. I'm excited to be here. Love this topic.
That's right. That's right. It's never old, right? I mean, when are there not times that are uncertain? But these are some really uncertain times right now, right?
Absolutely. In fact, I think it's picking up. It's funny. We all thought COVID was the biggest challenge we would ever see. And It seems like it's just gone on steroids since then.
Yeah, no question about it. Now we're in the midst of this crazy year of a presidential election, and you don't know what to believe. You don't know which way to turn. You don't know what the future is going to hold. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? So I think that this is very timely. So in your post, you mentioned 5 strategies to help your team succeed in uncertainty. Can you elaborate on those with us?
Yeah, and probably the biggest part of that article that's most important is that leaders need to understand they have got to help the team.
Yeah.
To do that. Most people get stuck in uncertainty. Only 2% of our population are visionaries and can see past the block in front of them. Most people are tactical. So number one, sounds soft, but it is so critical. And that is that you have got to have a vision. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to help people see what is possible. And it can't be just a vision that's on your website or something like that. As a leader, you have to be talking about it all the time and being able to help them see what is possible and why they need to keep going through the slog of uncertainty.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think sometimes it's difficult even for that 2% to maintain that, right? And to say, okay, I do have the vision for the business, and I am going to remind my team of that. But on an ongoing basis, sometimes it gets tough, even for the leader, right?
Absolutely. And, I think it was so interesting. You mentioned it's an election year. It's not only an election year in the U.S., but in 70 countries around the world, and they're all as volatile as ours is. But you watch, mark my words, it will be the leader with the clearest, it will be the politician with the clearest vision that will win. Yeah. Because people need to simply understand in their mind a repeatable vision, and they will follow that. So like I said, it sounds soft, but it's where a leader has got to start.
Yeah, very good point. What are some of the others that you...
Yeah, so the other one is something I don't think we ever think about. But that is that, one of the reasons that people hate change is because we're all sitting here waiting for it to happen. I mean, even Jim, when you started to talk about uncertainty, we're all going, wonder what will happen.
Yeah.
Well, if you know change is coming, get ready for that change. Yeah. And you get ready for that change by preparing the team, by getting them in shape for change. And you do that simply by talking about change all the time and getting people comfortable with the idea and actually predicting changes that are coming in the marketplace. I was really thinking about that when I started to write the post. I don't know in leadership school that I was ever taught that. We were always taught to manage change once change happens. Mm-hmm. But now it's happening so fast, you actually have to start to predict it in the marketplace.
Yeah, no question about it. That is great advice. What else is on the list?
So another one that I'm really kind of fascinated by is the importance of leading with values. Is that I think we have really underestimated in our society how important values are and how important leading according to those values. Yeah. So you can't just make some decisions according to the values and some decisions not. You have to make all the decisions according to values. But you watch leaders and organizations right now that lead with their values, and they are not struggling to find employees. They are not struggling to build succession plans. Right. They are not struggling to find customers. It's really, really fascinating what's happening in the industry with that. But it takes a lot of courage to lead with your values.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Yeah. And number 4?
Just keep rolling down the list, right? Is that, you have got to, I think one of the most important things is that you've got to reward the progress, is help people see that this isn't about achieving the goal, but helping them see the progress that is being made and feel good about the progress. They need to, because the thing about uncertainty is just like you said, more just keeps coming at us, right? And it can feel overwhelming. So you have to take the time, take a breath, and celebrate the progress that has been done and make them feel good about what they're accomplishing.
That's a very good point, because I think all too often leaders forget to do just that, don't they? To take a breather and really maybe pat some people on the back, although don't touch them, you can't do that now, but pat people, but show that recognition, especially for those on the team that maybe even did an extra special job, to get us through that. But know that more is coming, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then, as we, the other is that you've got to give them skin in the game. I mean, one of the reasons people hate change is because they don't feel a part of it. And far too often, when times become uncertain, the leader gets very tell-direct. And what people want in an uncertain time is a voice. And I call this leading through the power of the question. Instead of telling people what to do, ask them what to do. And sometimes they'll have dumb ideas. That's okay. They get credit. They'll engage when it's their idea, or they get to be a part of it. And bringing people into uncertainty rather than forcing them to do it your way, you're going to get so much more energy and so much more passion for it.
Sure. Having said that, what advice do you have for leaders struggling to inspire their teams during uncertain times?
Yeah, first of all, you have got to do the work on yourself. You have got to get your mindset right that uncertainty can lead to your greatest opportunity. And if you are struggling with that, go back and read history. Go back and look at companies, organizations, armies are some of my most motivating groups to look at. People have to do you have to do the work on yourself. You have to understand that uncertainty leads to opportunity, because your team will pick up your energy. And then it really is about casting that vision. Jim, probably one of the most fascinating things that I've learned from the research I've done is success is not logical. There is nobody listening to us today that is guaranteed to be successful.
That's right.
And it won't necessarily be the person with, the organization with the most money, the most resources, the best geographic location. It will be the one who believes and can guide a team to see a vision, and a vision will be accomplished.
Boy, there's no question about it. I couldn't agree more. Great tips. Thank you so much for sharing those with us. Meridith Elliott Powell, who's an award-winning business expert, keynote speaker, best-selling author. You can see why we have her on all the time. She's also part of a podcast, Sales Logic Podcast. Tell us a little bit about that podcast, would you?
Yeah, Jim is such a trooper. He gets up at crack of dawn on Saturday mornings and listens to it. But we do the podcast. We do the podcast live every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern. Sales Logic Podcast, all designed to help you sell more effectively in today's marketplace. Jim, I just got to say, I really believe this is a fantastic market to be successful. But as a leader, you've got to do the work on yourself. You do that, you are literally going to turn uncertainty to competitive advantage. I agree. I'm going to leave it there because it's perfect. Meridith Elliott Powell, thank you so much for joining us. Very much appreciate it. I love when you stop in and give all of our viewers this kind of advice, because in my estimation, it's priceless. And for those of you who get up early on Saturday, you're probably up anyway. So it's Sales Logic Podcast. And I will tell you, her and Mark Hunter is another great talent. They do a phenomenal job on the podcast. Check it out. I know you will not be sorry. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.